Today we find out if this wing is actually gonna help me or not, because we are at the racetrack. We're at Buttonwillow Raceway Park, and it's a pretty fabulous track. It's a very, very cold day, about 48 to 50 degrees pretty much all day, so very, very chilly, which is optimal for the engine for making horsepower, but not maybe so optimal so much for the tires in some ways. Like once the tires get warm, then these temperatures are great because it keeps the tires from getting too hot and getting greasy, but the thing is getting them up to temperature, and I'm on the second day on these track tires, so they're still good, not perfect, but still good. But today is the day where we figure out, does this wing actually help me out with downforce? Does it help me out with grip? Does it make this car better? For those of you who've been watching the channel, this right here is a actual ZR1 wing. It's not a replica, it's not a style, whatever. This is a real OEM ZR1 wing. And for those who have ever looked around for one, you cannot get one. I was able to get one because I have connections. But you cannot just go buy this off the shelf. You can't just go to GM, you can't go to the dealership and be like, oh, I got a part number. Even if you can find a part number on it, which is very hard, I don't even know what the part number is for it, you cannot get this. But somehow, some way, I got it. And this is a real ZR1 wing, real carbon fiber, real everything. And so far on the street, it's felt really nice. But now we're gonna figure out, how does it do on the track? My group is being called up right now, so I'm about to hop in the car. We're going to go out on the track and figure out if I can get the best lap time that I've ever gotten here at this track. Prior to this, I had a C6 Z06 with a big old APR wing, GTC 500 wing, created a ton of downforce, pretty amazing, and I ran like a minute 54 here at Buttonwillow. Now let's see if the C8 Z06 with this nice, beautiful ZR1 wing and these wonderful Forgedlite MC5 Magnesium wheels, all that, and also my Z07R front splitter and these EOS canards, everything added together, coupled with, you know, the performance parts of the 91mm Porter throttle body in the rear, and also my Eventuri air intake, and then my Speedway Composites cross brace kit, all that stuff added together. Let's see how much it helps this car. Is this car gonna be fast or is it gonna be slow? I don't know, but we got to get on track to be able to test that out. By the way, for those wondering, all those parts I mentioned for the car, if you go on my website, which is Iwuji.com, you can get any of those parts on there. You can order it, and by ordering on there, you're getting the same price as you would from any other retailer, from the manufacturers. You're getting the same exact price, but what you're doing is helping me out and helping out the channel so I can continue to make these fun videos where I'm testing all these parts, because there's not a lot of channels who do what I do. Plenty of channels out there who buy these cars and they sit and they talk about them all day, but not a lot of people actually drive them the way I drive them. So if you want to know how these cars do on track, whether it's a drag strip or road course, with the parts that we're putting on it, please support the channel by buying your parts that you need for your car through my website. And if you don't see what you need on my website, email me. That's info@jesseWujiPerformance.com. Email me and I should be able to source it for you. And once again, all that stuff, buying it through me, through the channel, all that stuff, it helps. So please help a brother out. Now it's time to get on track for the first time with the C8 Z06 and my ZR1 wing. All right, first session of the day.
called you for 4 up, just so you look like you don't know why you're here.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was just over there. I like just, yeah.
Come on.
Welcome back, sir. We are just about 3 minutes from a checker.
6376.
just got done with my first session on track. It was interesting, as you can see in the video. I did go off once, and the reason why is I tried to drive deeper into that particular corner than I normally do. I wanted to see if I could just take it deeper, because I felt like I was braking a little bit too early on the prior lap. So I'm like, let me see if I can go a little bit deeper, but that little bit extra that I tried to go deeper just didn't work. It didn't work. So I went off. Instead of trying to like huck the car in the corner at the last second and spin out, I just went straight because there was nothing I was gonna hit. And I just, went straight, no biggie, went off, drove back in. But unfortunately, in this particular track organization, they have you come into the pits and go see the track workers so they can check your car over, make sure you don't have anything. And then they scan your wristband, because I guess you're not supposed to go off that many times. If you go off like more than 2 or 3 times or whatever, then you get kicked out. I definitely understand that for people who are just flinging it off, but for me, I just did the safest thing, which is like, okay, I'm not gonna really make this corner, so let me just drive straight, go off real quick, and then come back on, like no biggie. But I guess you only get so many chances to do that. Whatever. So I won't overdrive that corner anymore, that's for sure. But besides that, the car felt solid. I did a minute 55 on this first session. Is that as fast as this car could go? No, it's definitely better than that. It's just really cold out there, and for whatever reason, I was noticing my fronts weren't having the grip that I really wanted. There was plenty of times where I wanted to be on the throttle more, be more wide open on the throttle, and I couldn't because I felt that the car was going to continue to push and push straight. Now that could be the tires, the front tires, or it could be a lot of grip from this rear wing that's causing me to now have this understeer sensation going on. I'm still trying to figure it out because these, unfortunately, I don't have like Cup 2Rs on the car right now. I'm running like a mismatch of tires. So due to me trying to figure out what's the most cost-effective way to have solid tires that will last for more than one track day, because the Cup 2Rs for me have only lasted one track day. The one time I tried them, they lasted one track day, that was it. And I can't spend $2,500 every time I go to the track. So I try to, I've been messing around with trying to find tires that will work for this car that give similar grips to the Cup 2R, but can last more than one track day. So I came up with this combination, which has been okay, but is it perfect? I don't know. Goodyear Super Sport RS tires in the rear, and they're only 325s, they're not 345s. And then up front, I have these 200 treadwear Vitor Tempesta P1s, which are really solid tires. I use them on another car, all 4 corners, and it works really great. But that car is like, half the horsepower of this car. Now, obviously, these are drive tires, but these ones, for whatever reason, I didn't feel like I had the grip I wanted up front. Now, that could be a lot to the rear wing, giving me too much downforce at the higher speeds, because that's where I was feeling that, or I don't know. But anyways, that's what was happening right there. And now it's time to figure out kind of what to do to get better. All right, so now we are about to head out for the second session of the day, my second session. Everybody else has been out here like 2 more sessions than I have. I started noticing something weird with the wing, something going on with the mounting, but like this was starting to come up a little bit. So I don't know if it's air is getting, obviously hitting here and pushing this back and lifting this. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to pull this thing apart at some point. But yeah, let's just pray that everything works well on this. But I noticed that on this last session. We'll see what happens, and that's not good, because this wing starts angling the wrong way. It creates lift in the back, which will obviously give me way less grip in the rear. Not that the car's going to take off flying or anything like that, but it's just not going to be good. So anyways, second session is about to happen right now. About to head on track and see if I can get better than the last time. But hopefully these tires aren't too cold. It's cold outside. It's like 40 something degrees. So unfortunately, these tires aren't loving it. At least the fronts aren't, but we're gonna try to make the most of it. I gotta come back out like on a 60-degree day, sunny. I'll be able to get some optimal laps. Right now, we're just gonna make the most of it. All right, second session of the day. tires are getting really slick. So I gotta cool it down now. The rear tires are not liking it. All right, just did my second session and I only did a few laps, and basically once I got my quickest lap I had to shut it down because once I did a minute 54.3, and after that I'm like, okay, let me try to push a little bit harder, but unfortunately I couldn't. As I started to go through the bus stop area, which is like the big long left-hander kind of in the center of the track, the car started like losing grip, so I was starting to lose basically my right rear. It was just starting to get away from me, and I damn near was like just slightly kind of like had a little bit of yaw all the way through there, and I'm like, oh, it was like basically on its way towards like me completely losing it. And then luckily with a little bit of downforce from this wing and the tire still having some stickiness and just me being a aware driver, I caught it. You might not have saw it in the video, maybe you noticed it in the video, but I definitely got some yaw, and I'm like, oh, that thing is getting away from me. And now I'm like trying to figure out if I should still do another session or not. I think these tires might be done. The first track day I did on these tires was at Willow Springs, and Willow Springs is it's not repaved. Oh, some sections of it are slightly repaved, but some aren't, so it's still kind of very abrasive to tires. And especially when you're going through turn 8 at Willow Springs, you're going like 140 plus miles per hour through there into it, and then like 130 or so through there, and it really takes a beating on those tires. And the tire that's on my right rear right now was, I believe, the tire that was on my left rear, which I believe took the most beating through turn 8 as they're like leaning on it trying to get through. So like I put it on my right rear just cause, and that was the tire that I was leaning on going through the corner where I was starting to lose grip. So I'm just wondering right now if this car is just, the tires right now are just not up to the task of helping me produce the lap I need to produce, because these tires are a bit worn, so it kind of sucks. Or maybe they're just at their limit. Maybe this is the best they can do, is just whatever I'm just doing right now. The fronts, it's tough for me to, there's places on this track where I should be faster, I want to be faster, but I just don't feel like I have enough tire under me to do it safely. Like the more I try to push to go faster, the more it's not wanting to let me. And partly my fault for just not having the right tires on here. Unfortunately, I've been in a little bit of a rush ordering tires when I'm getting tires for this car, and unfortunately tires that I want sometimes aren't available, or I can't get the right size at the right time, or whatever it is. So then I'm like, oh, let me just buy this, and it's a decent set. Like for most people, great tires, it'll work, you'll go run some great laps, all that stuff. I definitely should be faster than what I'm running right now. Like the minute 54 is okay, but it's not. This car should be better. I mean, I really feel like with it, since it's not a Z07, I don't have Z07 suspension on it, I still think I should be lower 150s. I mean, who knows, 152, 151, I don't know. The wing should be helping, and it is. I think it is helping for sure, but I just need to get the right tire. And I think if I come back with the right tire under me, let's say a Hoosier R7 or something like that, because Corvettes, honestly, with the power they produce and all that stuff, they just need a Hoosier R7. I've tried to run other stuff and they're all right. Hoosier R7s, A7s are just the best. They're great. I ran them on my C6 Z06 and it was magical. I just got to figure out 19-inch wheels for this so I can fit the right Hoosiers on here, because I just need to just go with those and just be done with it and just have real grip and get out here and get after it. But right now I'm like starting to lose grip, and it sucks because I'm like, really, I want to push harder, but I got to drive this car home, and I don't want to send it. Unfortunately, the dirt is really wet here, so if you go off, it's just a lot of issues. If it was like dusty dirt, then I wouldn't care as much, but unfortunately it's muddy, so it really can't, you can only push so much, and there's some people who haven't had a great day and they've gone off. So anyways, I got to figure out what to do next. Time to go out to my final session for today. I'll go out there, run a few laps. Basically each session, what I've noticed is I've been able to go out and run like like 3 to 4 laps max. That's about it. So I did lower my tire pressure. Tire pressure is, I was starting off probably about 29 psi or so each corner going out there, and it was good for like a few laps. I'm gonna lower them down to 27. I completely didn't really think about it, but like in the past when I've run some of my better laps, I've always started at 27 and the car felt pretty solid throughout the session. So I'm basically down to 27 all 4 corners, and I'll see if that works and if that helps me. I'll try a few laps. If I feel like I can keep pushing, I'll keep pushing. If not, then I'll just, you know, pull off the track. But the goal is to see if I can knock off some more time on the car, which once again, it does have more time. I just got to get everything dialed in properly. But I'm faster today than I was before, that's for sure. Last time I came out here, it was a little bit wet, so unfortunately I couldn't go fast at all. But now at least, you know, it's a dry track, but it is cold. It is cold. Like it's like 40 something degrees. It's chilly. So anyways, I gotta get these tires warmed up first because the first lap kind of sucks. Second lap a little better. Third lap usually pretty optimal. So anyways, we'll try to make it work. All right, third and final session of the day. Yeah, my tires are just not up for the task right now. I'm trying, but the tires aren't letting me get the grip I need right now, unfortunately. So I'm gonna just abort this run right now. But yeah, tire, like, I'm gaining some time in the beginning, but then as I start getting to the areas where I just need a little bit more tire, like the tire is just not there for me. And the car is starting to slide around more than I want, unfortunately. I was starting to make some gains, but I need more tire right now. I gotta get the right tire on this car. I gotta come back to it's a little bit better temperatures outside, but right now, yeah, the tire is not there for me. Once I start making some gains, I start going to places where it's just getting too sketchy and it's not letting me carry the speed I need to carry through particular corners. Like, there's multiple corners I'm wanting to go faster at, and it's not allowing me. Like, I'm feeling it starting to get away, and I know that if I push it more, then I'll overstep it. And if I overstep it, then, you know, it's just not good. So, yeah, right now, I'm not gonna make any more gains. The tire pretty much done. You know, they did what they could. And they're kind of older tires too. And when I say older, these tires were they're like 2021. Something like that. 21, 22 tires, like is when they were made. So like, yeah, I gotta get some better tires on. I tried. All right, it is time to pack up. I'm done with today. You know, came out here, ran a 154.3. Is it the best this car can do? Absolutely not. It can definitely do better. I was just limited today. A little bit of cool weather out there with a little bit too cool for what these tires I think like, honestly. I did lower the tire pressure, and it seemed like it was helping me a little bit on like the first section of the track. Looking back at the timing stuff, first section of the track, I'm picking up time. I'm starting to, like, you know, pick up a few tenths or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, good. But then when we got to the higher speed corners, for whatever reason, the car was just not liking it, and it was starting to get away from me like a little bit. And you might not be able to notice it in the video, but like I could just notice more yaw than normal. And these cars don't like a ton of yaw, maybe a little bit on slower corners, but on the higher speed stuff, definitely is not gonna like it a lot. So I had to kind of back off of it a little bit. I'm not trying to end up in the dirt here, because unfortunately it's a little bit muddy, and once you go in the dirt, it can really mess some stuff up here. And this car is a little bit pricey, and it's not just a track car. If it was just only a track car, I didn't care, then you send it, but it's not caged, none of that stuff. So I just drive within the limits of what the car is giving me feedback on. But overall, still a fun day. I mean, still a decent lap, I think, just not the best. Next time I come out with this car, I gotta have a solid set of tires. I need to work on maybe some alignment settings with it, possibly. I think if I do that, the car should be a lot better, at least. We'll see. But yeah, there's just a few things I want to work on with it. Obviously, if I get some better coilovers on the car, I still have stock suspension, all that stuff, all that can help. This car has a sub 150 in it, for sure. I got to get it dialed in and make sure the car sticks. So anyways, right now I'll take what I can get right now. 154, making a little bit of progress on it, but once again, gotta be better for sure. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, y'all. It was fun. Glad you're getting along on this journey here. Crazy thing is, in my C6 Z06 with a lot less horsepower, but a decent tire, a decent used tire, I went almost 154.6 or so. So like just a few tenths slower than I just did in the C8 Z06. And that was when I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm definitely better now. Like if I hop back into my C6Z when it was road course ready and ran right now, I'd probably go a little bit quicker, but I'm still dialing in the CAZ. I'm not fully there yet. It's not giving me what I fully want yet, but we'll get it there. We will. Thanks so much for tuning in, you all. If you want to see more on the CAZ and other cars I drive, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Click the like button if you haven't clicked it yet. Leave comments if you haven't left comments yet. And if you see anything that I don't see, or you have any ideas of what I can do to be better, let me know. Even if it's driving, right? I'm not a perfect driver. I feel like I'm all right, but I'm not like perfect. So yeah, if you see some things you can help me on, maybe my line is off a little bit, and I know I wasn't running perfect laps all the time, so excuse me on that. But if you got some tips and pointers, just leave them in the comments, and I would love to read them and see if it's something that could help me or not. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we have more videos coming, so stay tuned. Every single week there's something fun, whether I'm at the track, on the street, wherever. On the street I don't do any craziness, but still have a little bit of fun. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.